Blake? What are you doing?
What? We're just playing Mortal Kombat.
But don't you know what day it is, Blake?
Of course I know, it's just Tuesday.
No, it's Wednesday.
Ah! Alright, we gotta go!
What's up, movie fans, and welcome back to Be Kind and Rewind, where we will be ranking all of your favorite movie franchises. I'm Owen Miles.
And I'm Blake Blodgett, and once again we'll be back in the wizarding world, finishing up the Harry Potter franchise and covering Fantastic Beasts.
Which took place around 80 years before Harry Potter and focused more on the creatures that reside in the world of magic. Technically speaking, this is the first episode where we are covering two franchises.
If you want to be technical about it, yes.
So anyway,
let's get right to it.
Let's get right into the first one. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 is the first of two Harry Potter that closes out the Harry Potter franchise.
Harry, Ron, and Hermione are sent on a journey all alone to gather all the Horcruxes that keep Voldemort alive and destroy them. But tensions arise between them that could break them apart.
Meanwhile, the Dark Forces have seized control of the Ministry and Hogwarts. Snape is the new headmaster, and all the other Death Eaters are in an extensive search for Harry.
So can we just call this filler the movie?
Kinda, yeah. I don't really understand why this movie is two parts.
Yeah, I don't quite understand why.
Especially since it's not even the longest book in the book series.
Yep. You just pulled an actually.
Yeah.
Instead,
I think I think it's Order of the Phoenix. That's the longest one.
Yes, that sounds correct.
Yeah.
But I would have to look at the books to confirm.
They definitely wanted to be like, well, we just want to keep them on their feet or something like that.
Yeah, we just need more. No, they just wanted more money. Let's keep it a stack. They just wanted more money.
Isn't that what everybody in cinema wants nowadays?
And I mean, it started a whole trend too with splitting the last book of a movie adaptation in two parts. They did it with Hunger Games.
Yeah.
I think they did it. Did they do it with Maze Runner?
I can't exactly say. I haven't seen that franchise yet.
Same.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to Filler the movie.
All right. Yeah, basically they describe that there are three icons, I guess, that they need. They have the Elder Wand, they have the Resurrection Stone, and they have the
Invisibility Cloak.
Yeah,
and they form the Deathly Hallows, which would make someone like the King of Death, basically, in the Harry Potter franchise.
Yeah,
that
pretty much it's just like the story of the troll under the bridge, except for instead of a troll, it's just Death himself.
It's just Death. Yeah. You know, lovely for the whole family to enjoy.
Exactly.
But
that's just how it is in the wizarding world, I guess.
You know, this movie just annoys me. This is like the one movie in the franchise that just annoys me, because we get more of Ron being insufferable and being basically emotionally abusive with Hermione. I mean, we can just call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
Like, sure, technically he doesn't realize it, I guess, but basically being emotionally abusive.
I guess
he sees Harry and Hermione within 2 feet of each other and immediately assumes, oh, well, they gotta be smooching on the side.
Something's going on over there.
Which is insane.
Imagine being that, like,
insecure with yourself, I guess.
Yeah.
And then, so he leaves while they're on this adventure, and then just comes back.
Yeah, because the Sword of Gryffindor is just frozen in ice in some random place in the woods.
It's just there.
Yeah.
No explanation. It's just there. Because that's how everything works in this franchise.
Yeah, you kind of just have to assume. Yeah. I mean, it's magic. You can't exactly explain everything, right?
I think we can all agree, though. I think most people would have preferred, instead of splitting these into 2 parts, just take all the filler out of part 1, and if they had just released like a 3.5 hour, 4 hour movie, I think people would have enjoyed that more, rather than 2 like almost 2.5 hour movies,
like you can
where nothing happens in one of them.
Like, you can keep the battle at the beginning, and then cut like most of the rest of the first one, and then be done.
Let's show our ranking. I think we've made it pretty clear what we think.
All right.
Is it? It's like a.
We're making you wait for it.
Yeah, we're really just building up anticipation. There it is. Number 5.
Yeah.
We don't like this one.
Just look at him in the back.
Oh yeah, Dobby dies. We forgot to mention that.
Poor
But
Dobby.
poor Dobby. But I think we
I was
gotta,
more focused on Ron looking like he doesn't want to be there.
because he doesn't. But anyway, we gotta take a quick break.
Yeah.
But we'll be right back on Be Kind and Rewind. Stay tuned.
When you look at disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
I had to eat a raw egg on Chris's dormitory floor.
I currently don't have any federal pending charges.
You know what you never did? You never walked to Walmart, Chris. That's my co-host. This is for making me eat roast Pop-Tarts. It's showtime, Chris. Come on.
I want to be on the air for that. I got a couple things to say.
No.
Spin the wheel. But you got censorship.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's get right back into it. Let's not waste time. Harry Potter must now return to Hogwarts to face Voldemort and his army in an epic showdown. Harry must get the Elder Wand from Voldemort and finish him off.
It's a battle of good versus evil to save the wizarding and non-wizarding worlds alike. We also take a final look at Harry's path through the memories of Severus Snape.
What will be the result of the final battle to end the Harry Potter franchise? Let's take a look and find out.
So I think that we went from really terrible
Really bad.
to peak.
Yeah, like
immediately.
Pretty close to the peak.
Yeah.
We'll see at my final ranking. For me, it's not quite the peak.
Yeah.
But as close as you can get in this franchise to being the peak.
Right.
I mean, this movie is almost perfect to me. I mean, it's everything you would want in the final battle of Harry Potter, basically.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Dumbledore's not there. I mean, he is in a flashback, I guess.
Flashback, and then like when Harry dies. In quotes.
It's so weird. That whole scene is like really weird. It's like he
sees these visions of his parents, of Sirius Black, and Lupin, who was just killed in the initial battle with Voldemort's forces.
Battle,
yeah. There's a few. The initial scrum, if you will.
Yeah, there was like a sort of eye of the storm, I guess, and then they went right back to fighting.
Yeah, and
So,
it's very action-packed.
It is a very action-packed movie.
We're revealed basically that Snape was like, I guess you could say a triple agent.
Yeah.
Because like he was like a double agent for Dumbledore, and then who was pretending to be a double agent for Voldemort, and the whole time he was still working for Dumbledore.
Yeah, so
as
it's
is
like
revealed in a pensive memory that he gives to Harry before he's killed by Voldemort. So, and it reveals that like he had this long-standing, I guess you can call it love for Harry's mom, because they were close friends, and that's kind of why he always had a disdain for Harry's dad.
Right.
But it's also revealed that the whole time he had been protecting Harry in very specific ways that Harry wouldn't have noticed.
Exactly. And one part I like about this is we get to see like Neville's like shining moment. of
Yeah,
the
he
franchise.
actually gets a nice moment, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool because
Honestly-
he's basically been the joke character of the whole franchise,
Yeah.
and so it was nice to see him actually evolve from being the joke character and like actually taking initiative.
Yeah, and
Was-
honestly, yeah, if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't have won the battle.
Oh no, I
Yeah.
don't think they would have because
Because
he
killed the snake, which was one of
which
the
was the last
Horcruxes.
Horcrux.
Yeah.
All right.
So, all right, let's get to the rankings.
Ranking
And
number 1.
number 1 for me as well.
See, this is great. You know, we're agreeing. We're friends. Both of our families
We
were a
know-
little concerned after
we
last
know-
week, where we're making fun of each other just a little too much. But see,
Yeah.
we're all friends here. We like
Exactly.
each other.
Even if our rankings aren't exactly the same.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Anyway, let's get
right
to the
back
next
into
movie. Now we move back in time to the 20s, where Newt Scamander is stopping in New York with his magical suitcase full of creatures.
But during a run-in with a non-magic person named Jacob, he loses the case and accidentally sets some of his creatures free.
Jacob and Newt now have to find the escaped creatures, including a very dangerous one called an Obscural, and hide the existence of them from the non-magical world.
So, this is a weird one. Like, going off of the Obscurial, like, they think that it's from
a little girl in like foster care who lives in this foster care that's like very anti-magic and is like
'cause,
convinced that there's magic.
The leader of it is like, I think she's like a senator or something that's like...
No, she's just like a random woman who adopts all these kids and then had a run-in with someone from the American ministry. So like she knows that magic exists and is
she
like
thinks that
trying
it's
to
super
convince
dangerous.
everyone. But
oh yeah, this is where I got senator from. The Obscurial ends up
killing a
senator. Popular senator.
So like, because the whole concern in this movie is the magical world getting exposed, and then like them going to war with the non-magic people.
And so
that's like a whole thing in this movie. That wasn't really something that was discussed in the previous movies, because by the time of Harry Potter, like there was kind of already this knowledge.
Of like,
magic
being around. And this time, there was like a lot of doubt.
At this point,
Even
America, magic and non-magic couldn't marry, at least in America.
Right. So and the Obscurial actually ended up being this very interesting character in the entire Fantastic Beasts franchise. His name's Credence.
Yeah, and he's like
a huge question mark throughout this entire series.
Yeah, because at first he's presented as like this double agent who's trying to find this Obscural for someone who works for the ministry, but then it turns out he is the Obscural, so he has this really powerful magic building up inside of him because he never was allowed to use his magic.
Right, and I think, like, it's explained that, like, they don't usually, like...
live very long.
Yeah, they make it to, like, maybe 10, and then
they die.
Yeah.
Because Newt talks about how he saw one in Africa, and the girl didn't live till past 10 years old. She died.
No. So... Right.
All right, so let's get to our ranking, where we rank this one. Oh. Number 2.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
2 for both of us.
We haven't disagreed so far.
Not yet.
Is we might about to see a first time occurrence.
Yeah.
Except no, we won't, because we already know our rankings. But
spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Sorry, guys.
Let's get into the next one. Gellert Grindelwald has a plan to rule over all non-magical beings and give purebloods complete control of the world.
Newt is called upon by Albus Dumbledore along with another former Hogwarts student, Leta Lestrange, to attempt to stop him from rising up. Things take a dark twist when Grindelwald is trying to recruit Credence.
Relationships are torn and identities are unknown, including Credence and the fate of Leta's younger brother Corvus. When the true identity of Credence is revealed, it's pretty shocking. Yeah. So that was like a whole thing in this movie was...
Who actually is Credence?
Well, who is Credence, and 2, what happened to Leta's younger brother? And eventually it is revealed that Leta swapped the actual Corvus with another newborn, which actually ended up being Credence.
Yeah.
And so the real Corvus drowned.
And so Credence, basically, until the end of the movie, it's still not known who he actually is then, because then that confirms he's not related to the Lestranges.
No.
And it's revealed at the end to him by Grindelwald that he's actually a Dumbledore. He is related to Albus Dumbledore. And we don't find out till the next movie, but Grindelwald obviously tries to spin it as like they abandoned you, they got rid of you, so that's why you should help me take over the magical world.
Pretty much, yeah.
I think one of my favorite parts about these Fantastic Beasts movies is the guy, we should have looked up his name, who they got to play younger Dumbledore. He brings a lot of the gravitas that you want for Albus Dumbledore.
It's Jude Law.
Jude Law, yes.
That was his name.
There you
I've
go.
seen him in a couple other things. I can't exactly remember what right now.
And something else we didn't talk about the previous movie, Newt himself, who's the lead of this franchise, he's a very interesting character.
Really, yeah.
Because he doesn't want to pick a side in this fight with Grindelwald. Like, he kind of just wants to do his own thing with his beasts and show people that, they're not that bad. He wrote a book called Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I find you're never going to have a lead who's as interesting as Harry Potter, but I think Newt is about as good as you can do.
I guess, yeah.
I think.
Like, we'll never have, like, the character writing of Harry Potter, but yeah. This
and
is
then
pretty close.
Johnny Depp plays Grindelwald in this movie.
In this one and for a few minutes in the last one.
In the previous one.
Yeah.
He's not in the next one.
Well, yeah,
we'll
because
get
of
to
a whole,
that.
like, other thing,
A whole other thing that we probably can't discuss on this.
Yeah.
But he's actually really good as Grindelwald. He brings, like, again, you can't replace Voldemort, but he's kind of close. Like, he brings that same energy. Like,
and he just looks so
He
iconic.
looks intimidating. He
like,
looks intimidating, yeah, with the one eye being, the eyes being different colors, the pure white hair. Like, he has a very memorable look, and I think that helps a lot. And then they imply a lot about his relationship with Dumbledore and how they're, like, equals, but they can't fight each other.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
they have, like, a mutual agreement to not fight. And we learn more about that in the next movie.
Exactly. And yeah, basically at the end of the movie, a bunch of the characters like Credence and what was her name? Queenie,
yeah. She
end up joining
Grindelwald.
up with Grindelwald.
End up joining his cause at the end, and that's kind of the cliffhanger we're left on, is like, what's going to happen next? Like,
that's like where the relationship being torn is from, because Queenie was engaged to Jacob at one point in this movie.
Yeah, who is the non-magic.
Yeah, he's a baker,
person.
by the way.
He's a baker, yes. He actually he opens a bakery. He's also a veteran. He fought in World War I.
Yeah.
And then he came home and worked in a canning factory.
Yep. And then he wanted to open a bakery so bad that he went to
the bank.
The bank to, yeah. That's basically where he met Newt.
Because Newt was trying to wrangle one of his creatures, and then that became a whole thing.
Basically describing the last movie.
Yes.
But yeah. So
I think we can get to ranking this
honestly, yeah. I think we're pretty much done saying whatever we need to say. So let's get to the rankings. I have this one at 3.
I have it at 4. I think just it's one of those examples of a movie where just things happen, and not in a particularly interesting way. Just stuff happens, and that's really all I can say about it, to be honest.
It's also in Paris for a lot of it.
Yes, it is in Paris.
They're not all in Britain.
You can't speak any French. I can speak some French to you. Oui, oui.
Nice.
Monsieur.
Nice job.
Yes, I got a C- in French for a reason, guys.
Yep. All right.
We're going to take another quick break, and we will finish up when we come back with the Final Fantastic Beasts and the train wreck of the week. Stay tuned.
Say, President Stanley, whenever there's bad weather, who would you turn to?
I'd turn to Storm Team 10.
No, but you've got to say it like this. Storm Team 10. Say it with me. Storm Team 10.
If you like action, romance,
Polly sister, if you're watching this,
and highbrow humor,
surface is this.
Floor. Minch did not legitimately put his head in the toilet.
there's only one place to turn.
No!
Tune in to new episodes of
Oh boy!
only on WTOP.
Welcome back to Be Kind and Rewind. Let's get right back into the last Fantastic Beast.
Several years after the events of the second movie, Grindelwald is dismissed of all his crimes.
Grindelwald is running in an election to be the head of International Confederation of Wizards. Dumbledore cannot fight him, so he enlists Newt and his followers to try and stop him.
Newt and the others also have to protect a creature that can identify a pure soul, as Grindelwald needs it to win the election. Jacob is also used as an important pawn that aids both sides.
So, basically, Grindelwald wants to win this election. By the way, that's
He's
definitely
always looked
Grindelwald.
like that.
Yeah,
He's
what do
always
you-
looked like that.
Yeah,
Johnny Depp. Who's Johnny Depp?
Yeah, he definitely didn't not have all white hair in the last one.
You see, that's the part that annoys
Yeah.
me. It's like, they didn't even try to make him look the same. They
Yeah.
didn't give him the same hair. They didn't give him the eye gimmick. Like, they didn't even
Just like
try.
the guy that they cast just decide, you know what, I don't want to do this.
Well, to be
I
fair,
don't want to dye
the
my
guy
hair
they
white.
cast is a good actor.
He's alright.
He's been in
Yeah.
Hannibal. Like, he's a good actor. But
Yeah.
it's just like, again, they didn't even try to make him look the same.
Right.
Which is annoying to me.
Yeah,
But
it's...
What's also annoying is otherwise the movie's actually pretty good.
Yeah, honestly, I think that there's not really that much that's wrong with this movie. It's got a unique setting. It's mostly in China, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Yeah,
China.
and so they're
like holding like events
this election.
around the election.
Yeah.
Dumbledore has like everyone working in unison to like, again, like we talked about with the Harry Potter movies, like he's presented as just this all-knowing figure who knows everything and knows the results of everything and how everything will turn out, to the point where like it's mentioned a few times by Newt's assistant who's helping them out. She's like, oh, you can't know everything, because Dumbledore knows if he knows everything, that would mess everything up.
Right.
And it's interesting how it just seems like his whole life he was this all-knowing figure.
Yeah, it definitely is an interesting thing to look behind. Like, and there's another thing is this weird creature. I can't exactly remember the name of it, but like
it's like a deer-looking creature.
So basically, this deer thing. I'm just gonna call it a deer thing.
Deer thing.
Yeah. It basically gives birth to twins, and Credence captures one of the twins, and the other twin is saved by Newt. And basically, that's like the entire thing, because like you need this thing to like
identify you as a pure soul.
Yeah, like this thing will basically just come up to you and like bow to you. Yeah.
And identify that you're a pure soul,
Yeah.
so that you're worth electing.
Yeah. So what Grindelwald did is he murdered the other little deer thing.
Brought it back with a spell so that it would only bow to him.
And then basically he just gets exposed in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like Shocker, this guy who had a bunch of crimes.
Multiple crimes, commits another crime.
I would have never guessed.
Yeah, I know. It's almost like he's a bad person.
I thought you were going to go somewhere else too political with that.
Yeah.
I was going to have to stop you.
Yeah. But yeah, that would not have...
It wouldn't have been a great look for us.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
So they get the real alive deer thing to the election, and it actually initially bows to Dumbledore, then bows to one of the other candidates.
Yeah,
Grindelwald leaves.
And that other candidate is elected.
Yes.
So all right, so that is going to be it for that one.
The
Let's
ranking?
see. There's only one left, so that there's only one thing that it could be ranked. 4.
And then for me, 3.
Yeah.
I liked it a little bit more than you. Other than, obviously, what are you talking about? Grindelwald's always looked like that.
Yeah.
Even though, no, he hasn't. But otherwise, I think it's a decent entry. You could do a lot worse.
It was also supposed to come out in like pre-COVID, and then COVID happened. So.
And then you just made everything sad because you had to remind people of COVID.
Just
like you always have to remind people about the Carolina Panthers and.
We do this every week.
And yep.
But okay, San Jose Sharks fan.
Okay. But we have a segment every week that we like to call the train wreck of the week. So why don't we just
let's get to the train wreck of the week, and
it is obviously train wreck of the week.
To see the train crash.
You can't really see, but it's just Ron from Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Those were a lot more bright than I originally thought, but
there you go. They got it up on full screen.
Yeah.
But it's just Ron. Yeah, that's the train wreck. It's
pretty much. It's just I was just thinking about just like him. That's the train wreck.
I mean, it is. It really just is. It's just Ron being Ron in that movie.
All right. Yeah.
And then we don't have the final rankings of these week's movies.
We did have the final rankings of this week's movies. Let's bring that
okay.
up.
You know what? Go off.
We have 2 rankings, by the way, this week.
Yeah, go off.
So yeah. But before we get into that, Ron.
He's an annoying.
He also just would not take off the necklace that made you be in a bad mood.
Yes, it just made you be in a bad mood the whole time.
Because like Harry's wearing it at one point, and he's always in a bad mood when he's wearing it.
And Hermione's like, "Yeah, take that off." And he's like,
and he actually takes it off.
He takes it off, and he's like,
and instead, Ron, instead of taking it off, decides, you know what, I'm
gonna
out of
wear
here.
it for like a
I'm
few
just
days
gonna head out. It's like
Yeah.
It's like I want to be miserable. Not me, Ron.
You are miserable. I live with you.
Aww.
I'm kidding. All right, so final rankings of these ones.
It's pretty much exactly the same.
Except we flipped these 2.
All right, so
I
got that figured out.
We got that figured out.
All right, and then
drum roll, please. We have
an
if it's ready.
Entirely right. Yeah. So
we had a combined ranking.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's being weird.
It's being weird, but basically, you put Deathly Hallows Part 2 at your number 1 in your combined rankings, and then I put Deathly Hallows Part 2 as my number 2
in the rankings. Your number 1 was Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yes, it was.
We both had Deathly Hallows Part 1 as last. As number 11, last place.
Last place. We disliked it that much.
I had Half-Blood Prince pretty low. I had it at like 10.
I think I also had it low. I had it at like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Can't remember fully off the top of my head.
I remember there was 5 Harry Potter movies before we got to the first Fantastic Beasts movie.
I had mine. Actually, I think I had mine at 5.
Mine was at 6, I'm pretty sure, which was the original Fantastic Beasts. So,
all right, but other than that, we got to wrap up?
I guess so.
It's unfortunate.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time where we will do Night of the Living Dead.
Yes, Night of the Living Dead.
Back to horror, because we can't do a semester without a horror franchise.
We can't not have horror. It's got to happen. But
it's just the rules.
So,
all right.
As usual, guys, remember to be kind
and rewind.